Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Jazzy here. I'm back with another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing some of my favorite recipes for summer and some like sides slash like appetizers as well. But little update in the meantime. I don't know if you could tell, but I am in a different kitchen. So since I had the baby, I know it's been a bit since I posted. I had that other video where I kind of like my entire pregnancy. I posted that video where I had like a pregnancy journey, but really in between that time since having the baby, we moved again. This place is so much bigger. It is so nice. I love it so much. We're not in the same town as we were anymore. We went a little bit further out again. We realized after having the baby and everything, like we had a nice 2-bedroom for just a couple, but so we just wanted more space, and then also there was just some personal things going on with the neighbors that we just didn't like what they were doing. It was quite inappropriate while we have a newborn at home. So we were able to get out of that lease, thankfully, and I'm so happy because this place is so nice, guys. I'm so excited. I'm gonna have to give you guys like an updated quick tour or something at some point, but I'm gonna show you the patio though. It's really cute. We've been working on it. I still have some more stuff to like do out there, but let me show you. All right, so we have a hammock out there and a little patio table and couch that we just got, some plants and some lights and a cute little rug. I feel like we're really more in the middle of nowhere now. Like, this is surrounding everything. I'm also back to working full-time, so I'm not really sure exactly my schedule with filming on top of having the baby and kind of navigating parenthood in the midst of that. And I'm still doing school full-time. I kid you not, the same day I gave birth, I was submitting assignments. Yeah, so that's nonstop. But yeah, I'm really excited to do today's video. I'm trying to think if there's a theme or coordinating kind of ideas that I'm gonna have with my videos. I feel like it's more just gonna be my life, like lifestyle. So like this, like my favorite recipes for summer, because some of these I feel like people think are more complex than what they are. Today I'm gonna be making birria tacos. I have a video on my TikTok where I made these last summer as well, kind of just showing how to make it. So I'm gonna be making it again for this video, and then I'm gonna be making a side of guac as well. And let me preface before anyone says anything, I'm sure everybody has their own way to make things. This is my way, I guess. Like, I'm pretty sure they're pretty accurate to how to like make them, if that makes sense, traditionally and everything. But everyone has their own recipes, special add-ins they like, and tweaks that they've, you know, tailored to their taste. But this is just what I like to do, and I'm sure I've seen these recipes somewhere for all the foods I'm gonna make. I don't remember who or when, but I definitely didn't invent any of these recipes by any means, so I just wanted to preface that. But yeah, I'm so excited to be filming again. It's so exciting! Okay, so let's get into it then. So of course you're gonna need a good chuck roast. I have a little over 3 pounds here. I have about 3.3 pounds. Cilantro is a must. You wanna have some fresh garlic. You want some white onion as well. You're gonna want some sweet red onion. Mozzarella cheese, shredded of course. Corn tortillas. Depending on how you want your beef broth. I'm just gonna make mine from bouillon. I want paprika, oregano, bay leaves, black peppercorn, salt, and you're gonna need some guajillo and pollo chili peppers. I'm using the crock pot this time. I use a pot a lot on top of the stove, just boiling water. I don't really think it makes a difference, but I am adding some bouillon beef cubes. I don't think that really matters either. I just kind of add things to taste. So if you want to tweak any of what I'm telling you, then you totally have that right to do that. I just do what works for me, and I'm just sharing this with you guys. Go ahead and cut this chuck roast up into smaller pieces. Sometimes I like to brown the edges before I put them in my pot, but I am using the crock pot today because I feel like with the baby being home with me today, and I'm just here right now by myself, I don't want to have to be as high maintenance on the food. And when you're using a pot, it's a lot more standing around near it and being more attentive, whereas a crock pot, it kind of just simmers slowly, in my opinion. So I'm not gonna cut off any of the fat either, just so you know, because I feel like it really builds on the broth in the crock pot. So I'm gonna go ahead and start plopping those in there. Makes it so much easier instead of waiting for the whole thing to fall apart. I'm impatient and I'm so excited to eat these. So I wanted to cook fast but still soak up as much flavor as possible. So cutting it up like this, I'm gonna be able to shred it easier as well once it gets tender enough. Also, make sure you are constantly washing your hands. I think I have washed my hands already like 6 times and we are barely into this tutorial. But especially when using raw meat and any kind of raw food product. I might leave that chunk of fat out. It's really fatty right there. But I'm not gonna go out of my way to cut any of it off, like I said, because I feel like it really builds on the flavor overall. So now I'm gonna go ahead and add in half of this white onion. I like to take that extra layer off. So we're just gonna add this into the crock pot. We're also going to go ahead and add in a whole head of garlic. And then I'm just gonna add some salt. There's really no measurements for this. It's kind of more like to your liking. We're gonna go ahead and also add a couple bay leaves. And we're gonna leave this to simmer for a few hours. I'm gonna check on it in another about hour and a half. I'm gonna obviously keep an eye on it the whole time periodically, but I don't wanna keep opening this cover because I want this to be able to all simmer, get hot, and really start cooking the meat and everything all together. So this part can get kind of messy, but we're just gonna go ahead and split them open. And we're gonna go ahead and take all the seeds out. So I use 7 for this. It's what I typically use because, as you can see, they are pretty big. So I added all the chili peppers into this frying pan, and I took the onion out from the crock pot and I'm putting it in here. And then I just got one more head of garlic that I went ahead and I'm adding into this pan. So we're gonna go ahead and sear this up, and it won't take long. I have it on high because you'll know when the chili peppers are starting to near done because you really want that fragrant smell coming from them. It smells so good in here right now. Now that we have everything all nice and roasted up, I'm gonna go ahead and put this all in the blender. It's so hot, I'm not trying to touch it. We're gonna add 2 cups of water. So we're also gonna add a small handful of this black peppercorn. Don't mind my nails, by the way. The peppers totally stain your hands, FYI. And now we're gonna blend this until smooth. So now we're gonna take those blended ingredients and we are going to add them into our crock pot. You want to just kind of sift it around and try to make sure that it's smooth. You can discard of any of the other pulp. So now I'm going to go ahead and add paprika and oregano. This I don't measure either. This is, again, a lot is just feeling out what is right for you. And for paprika, I'm not going to add too much because I don't really want it to have that much spice to it, if that makes sense. I don't really want it to be like spicy. I like the very flavorful See, my problem is I never know when enough seasoning is enough. So once we get closer to the meat being done, I'll go ahead and taste test it and then adjust it from there. Any seasoning that I may need to add additional. So now I added all that oregano. Now I'm like, oh, let me 2 more diced splashes of paprika. So it's been about 3 hours since I started this. Just gonna take a peek at it, and you want to just make sure that you are mixing it every now and again. It smells really good. I could see the meat is starting to really cook. Alright guys, so it's been 5 hours that this has been in the crock pot. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Look at that. Amazing. We're gonna see how tender the meat is, and then it might be time to shred. Oh yeah, look at that. That is so good. It's like falling right off. That's exactly what we want. So I think it is time to shred now. So I have it all nice and shredded now, and I'm just going to add it back into the crock pot. So I went ahead and oiled my pan, and now I'm gonna take my corn tortillas. And what you wanna do is you wanna grab one out, and we are going to get that nice and juicy. So I have the pan heated after taking that tortilla and dipping it. Now I'm gonna put some shredded mozzarella. That is gonna be a thick one. You're gonna add your meat, red onion, such a staple, and then we're going to add cilantro. I love to go heavy-handed on the cilantro. And then we're gonna add a little bit more cheese. And we are gonna let that get nice and crispy. And we're gonna flip it, obviously, how you would normally make. Think of it like a quesadilla. You just want the cheese to get melted, because obviously everything else, the meat's cooked. You want the tortilla to get nice and crispy. So we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna do quite a few of them. So for guac, you're gonna need avocados. I have 2 bags here because I wanna make a lot. And then some cherry tomatoes. I got these from Trader Joe's. I went to Trader Joe's for the first time. It was actually really cute. You're gonna want some red onion, some lime, cilantro, some cumin. I like to add a little dash of onion powder, some black pepper, some chili powder, sea salt, and you could add either garlic powder or some fresh garlic. Oh my god.
Is that the same?
So helpful. Look at him putting in that work. Alright, now that we have our avocados, we're obviously just going to mash them. So now we're going to take some red onion, and we're going to just add a bunch of that in there. I usually use about 2 onions for that, but some of this red onion I have here is just cut up for something else. So now I'm going to add 2 lime, and if you roll them out like this, it'll really help to get all the juice out of them. Like, look how squishy this is now. So I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze these into here. Some cilantro. I'm gonna take just a little bit of garlic powder, a good amount of cumin, a dash of onion powder, a dash of black pepper, some chili powder, and sea salt. Okay, so for this one, we're gonna be making some garlic butter steak. So you need some top sirloin, parsley, fresh garlic, and these little small potatoes. You're gonna want asparagus and garlic powder, black pepper, some paprika, salt, sea salt, olive oil, butter. And we're gonna start off by dicing up the steak, so you want them to be kind of like steak bites. So once those are nice and cut up, we're going to add those into the bowl and add our seasonings. So you can do this again, just season to taste, what works for you, you know when there's enough. And I found this really cool like butter garlic seasoning at the store, which is totally optional. I just wanted to give it a try and see if it enhances the flavor. So now we got that all mixed in. We are going to really just get everything covered the best to our ability. And now we're going to go ahead and start cleaning off the potatoes. Once those are cleaned off, we're just going to cut them in halves. We don't really want them small. You can cube them if you want. And we're going to get some of that parsley as well and start chopping that up. Once that's all chopped up, we're going to add the potatoes into the air fryer, garlic powder, parsley, black pepper, some paprika, and obviously some salt and olive oil. You're going to put those in the air fryer at 400 until they're golden. I think it took about like 20-25 minutes maybe. And now we are going to wash and cut the asparagus. I do about 1.5 inches, 2 inches at the bottom. Add that in with some sea salt, olive oil, and we're going to add some salt onto there, garlic pepper, and a little bit of onion powder. And I wanted to just dice up a little bit of fresh garlic and toss that in with it too. And by the way, look at this pan. This is like my favorite pan right now. I'm going to be using it so much. I've been using it so much. It's the Martha Stewart pan. It is literally like my favorite right now. So we are going to melt some butter and get this nice and prepped for the steak to go in there. So I cut up some fresh garlic as well to add into there to really get that garlic butter taste. And you're going to just cook it to your liking. I like mine about medium, a little bit medium rare, but just go ahead and keep that on the stove while we get everything else in. So now that you have that complete, serve it up and it is so good. For this next one, we are going to be making some of these sliders. This is a fan favorite in my household. And yes, I'm using Kraft singles. You can use fresh teas if you'd like. It's totally up to you. So here are all the ingredients for that. And I'm also going to be doing just bag fries. You could totally make them on your own if you'd like. And you need to have either potato or Hawaiian rolls. It's a must for this. So we're going to start off by dicing up the onion. You want them to be as small as you can get them, nice and cubed. And we're going to start adding the meat into the pan and start getting that. Oh my gosh, look at this. I got one of those like meat grinders. I've seen them on TikTok and I thought they were useless until I got it, and it actually works really well. And we're going to start just cooking up the fries in the air fryer and dicing up some parsley. I think this really adds a lot of element to the flavor. So once the meat starts really cooking, at a certain point, once it's cooked thoroughly, you're going to want to go ahead and drain the grease. Do it safely. You want to make sure that it's not just thrown outside or down your drain. And I'm just adding the seasonings into a little bowl. Again, no measurements for this, just season to taste. I just used garlic, pepper, a little bit of onion powder, and some salt. And then once it's drained, you're going to then add in all of your stuff. So we are adding in the onions first because you definitely want those to get cooked through. So now you're going to go ahead and add in your seasonings. And guys, don't tell my boyfriend, but I do add mayo into this. It makes it so creamy. It literally makes the taste. So you're going to do 2 heaping tablespoons of it. Just trust me, it's so good. And mind you, I didn't say any of these recipes are going to be healthy. This is like a good little appetizer, or you can make it a meal. And you're also going to do a bunch of ketchup, be super generous with it, but you don't want it liquidy. But you'll know when enough is enough. And I hate this part. You have to cut the rolls. It's so tedious for me. And then once those are cut, you're going to start adding in your cheese. You're going to do a nice layer at the bottom. And then you're going to start putting your meat in. Try to make sure that you get like a nice even layer. You don't want it to be super clumpy in one spot and weak on the meat in the other. And then once you have that all nice and evened out, you're going to just throw some cheese on top and put the buns back on. And then I'm taking the parsley and some butter and melting that down and making a little mixture that I'm just going to drizzle on top of the rolls. And then you're going to go ahead and throw it in the oven at 425. There's really no set time for it. You just want to make sure that the cheese is melted and the buns are golden. And it is so, so, so good. It tastes so good. Trust me. For this next one, it's a nice little snack appetizer. You're gonna need cherry tomatoes, mozzarella cheese, some garlic, balsamic glaze or vinegar, French bread, and you're also definitely gonna need some white onion, and for sure, basil. And I got this really cute little basil plant from Trader Joe's. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. And you're gonna want some olive oil, and we're going to start by dicing up the onion. Doesn't have to be super small, but just kind of dice it to your best ability. We're going to go ahead and add that into a bowl. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and start preheating my oven to 425. And now we are going to also dice up the cherry tomatoes. You don't have to make them real small unless it's your preference or depending on the size of the tomato. I usually just cut them in half or even thirds. And then you're just going to add that into the bowl as well. And now I'm going to go ahead and chop up a little bit of garlic. I'm trying to squish them down because I really want them to be very flavorful. To me, it just makes sense, and I'm not really going to add too much in. You don't want huge chunks, so try to get them small. And once we get that done, we're going to mix that in as well. Now we're going to go ahead and add some olive oil in, and then definitely some balsamic glaze. I feel like this one is usually like a hit or miss. Like, it is my all-time favorite type of appetizer, but it's the balsamic that throws people off completely from it. So it's either been a huge hit or a huge miss with some of my family. And we're gonna add salt, pepper, and give that a good mix. I'm so sorry, I had to do voiceovers because I feel like I'm missing so much in this video and details that I'm totally gonna look at later and be like, oh my gosh, I forgot to mention that. And so now we are adding some basil. And we are going to mix out all together. Oh my gosh, I literally am craving this right now. And we are going to start chopping up the French bread. And we're going to lay that out on a baking sheet, add some mozzarella cheese on it, and put it in the oven until the cheese melts and the bread is toasted. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had so much fun filming it. It honestly took a while to film because I didn't make these all one day. But I totally feel like I have forgotten some things. It was so hectic trying to film and also cook at the same time. But I really hope you guys enjoyed and try out some of these. Let me know if you do and what you think of them. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!